So I want to talk about the ego today. I want to talk about the good and the bad. I want to talk about how we can use it to do what we need to do in this third dimensional plane. But I also want to talk about how we can become victim of our egos, because our egos can be without the right balance, or without the management skills to go along with it. It can become dangerous for us. It's like, I want to compare the ego to like an employee. The ego is like I said in the last video, we are a business. Our ego is just an employee when it comes to that business, I feel like. So we can use it, if we train it right, we can do great things. But if we don't tend to it, if we think, if that we let it get too big, if we let it become bigger than the business, it can destroy us. So let's talk about it. One of the biggest lessons I'm learning now, or one of the biggest lessons that I'm teaching myself, is to detach from the material things and detaching from the world. Everything, detaching from matter, really. Everything that's not God created. Well, everything is God created, but matter, things that we as humans had to create. I feel like I'm detaching from things. I'm detaching from the clothing. I'm detaching from the technology. I'm detaching from what I viewed was a nice lifestyle. I'm detaching from that because it's not real. What really matters is how we feel about ourselves internally. What really matters is how we treat others. What really matters is how we feel about ourselves, and the way we feel about ourselves is going to fulfill a void that we may or may not have. I feel like detachment is really important when it comes to happiness, when it comes to peace, being at peace with oneself. Detachment. So years ago, I created this nice lifestyle that eventually came to pass. I created this lifestyle of being a welder, learning all these skills, traveling to different places, making all of this money, meeting great people. But I didn't factor in that self-love. I didn't factor in, I was so enamored with creating this ego, creating this guy that has this great career, has all this money, has everything he ever wanted, without factoring in that self-love. I'm thinking in my mind, in my 18-year-old mind, that me building this person is gonna help me feel better about myself. It does, because the ego is good. It is good, right? So, but without the self-love, without doing things that help make you feel good about yourself, without having all of these things, I didn't have that. I created this ego, but I still felt like I was missing something. So ego is good when it comes to building a career, when it comes to building your lifestyle, but it's more to life than that. Like, how you feel about yourself when you're alone, when you're lonely, how do you operate? Like, it's more to life than the ego. And what I'm learning now is how to operate without the ego, how to operate without all the money, how to operate without the nice clothes, how to have real true confidence in myself and my abilities, what I can do without certain things, without certain luxuries, is what I'm getting at. External validation feeds the ego. So when I was in welding classes and I was learning how to weld, when everybody would compliment me on how good I was welding, when my teacher would compliment me on how great I was welding, that fed my ego. So that pushed me even harder to keep going. And even though it kept me moving in the direction of becoming a great welder, getting this experience and making this money, right, I still feel unfulfilled. I'm still missing that self-love. Even though I'm getting all these great compliments, I should feel good about myself, right? No, it still wasn't enough. And that also led to arrogance. And when it comes to the arrogance, that's an insecurity thing. You become arrogant when you feel too much of yourself, and you only feel too much of yourself is if you don't feel enough for yourself. If that makes sense. Like arrogance comes from a lack of self-love, self-esteem. That's when you go totally off the spectrum of arrogance and humility or humbleness, right? While my ego led to me getting a career, learning a skill set, making a lot of money, or what I think is a lot of money. While my ego helped me do that, also on the flip side, my ego led me to being judgmental. Me thinking that I'm better than other people when it comes to certain things. When it comes to certain areas of life, I feel like, I think that I was better than other people. And the ego could go down that route as well. But me finding that balance between the ego and selflessness, if that's the comparison, how can I balance out using the ego for good, but also remaining on a spiritual level, remaining humble, remaining one with the earth? That's what I'm trying to figure out now. How do I balance that? Because I know that being judgmental and thinking that I'm bigger than the world, that's not good. It's not. You tend to look down on people, and some people, they look at that and it turns them off. You're not a healthy individual if you think that you're better than everything or everyone around you. Nobody wants to be around that person. Nobody wants to be around that person. So I'm trying to find that balance between those two, right? But before we get to that, you have to be aware that you have a problem. You have to be aware that your ego is too much. You have to be aware of that, and that's key. Just like I've said before, awareness is everything. You have to know what's wrong with you in order to find a solution, in order to become a healthy individual as a whole, right? So trying to find this balance between selflessness and the ego. We do need the ego. I will never say we don't need the ego. We don't need a negative ego, I'll say that. But building that positive ego to attain things that we can use to create something that'll help everybody else. That's what I'm learning now. I'm learning how to become one with the creator. I'm learning how to be of the source, but not be above the source. I'm learning how to humble myself. I'm learning how to not be judgmental, how to really build true confidence in myself, right? That's what I'm learning. That's what I want to share with you guys today. How to be truly confident. So I want to leave you guys with, we are not bigger than the world. We are not bigger than this third dimensional plane. We are a part of it. Just like we are a part of this third dimensional plane, we are a part of the source. We are not bigger than the source. So I'm learning on the judgmental side that I'm struggling with. I'm learning that I'm not bigger than the source. I'm not bigger than anyone else. I'm a part of everybody else. No two humans are better than each other. So I'm learning that. So if you're struggling with that, learn how to love self. Learn how to use your positive ego to build your self-esteem. Build a positive self-esteem, right? So that external validation feeds the ego. But you don't want the ego to get full, right? You don't want to fill up that pot so big. You want to detach from the social medias. You want to detach from certain foods. You want to fast. You want to detach from certain people. You don't want to be completely attached to anything except your child. I don't even think you should be 100% attached to your child, because too much of anything is bad for that person or the child. So, detachment, learning detachment, becoming completely detached with this world and everything of it or in it, right? So, you have to learn how to manage the ego. I have to learn how to manage my ego, so I won't be so judgmental, so I won't be looking down on anyone, because who wants to be around somebody that they feel like they're better than them? Who wants to be around a person that feel like they're better than you, right? Nobody wants to be around that person. Learning how to the whole purpose of this journey is to learn how to become a healthy individual. So that's what I'm learning right now. That's what I'm going through. If you guys are struggling with that, learn how to love self. Use your ego to build true love for yourself. So I appreciate you guys for watching, man. This is another great one. You feel me? I'm being transparent. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys take something from it and really implement it in your life, right? So I'm gonna get out of here. Peace.